1 minute after 6. I will call this this Public Works Committee meeting of the Village of Arena to order. Roll call. Brittany Carney.
Here.
Christian Shea. Matthew Schrader. Here. 2 minute public comment.
Thank you.
All right. Agenda item number 3 is appearances. None are listed. So we will move on to agenda item number 5. Utilities. Reviewing the equipment items remaining on the CWF and SDWL funds to purchase. Letter A.
Okay, Zach, if you want to take this one over.
Yeah. So I went through, like I talked in the previous meetings, is that we have some remaining amounts on both the Clean Water Fund loan for the sewer project and the Safe Drinking Water loan for the well house project. So with that, with the application that we submitted for these fundings, we included the option to purchase equipment for this instance, which the DNR is always open to doing because they always want to max out as much of the loan as they can. So we've already purchased some equipment in the past. I believe we got some chemical feed pumps, just have backups, is required by the DNR anyway. So we're able to purchase that. So I met with Rich, kind of went over a list of items that he was thinking he'd want to purchase underneath these loans just to maximize that principal forgiveness on them. And basically I sent that list to the DNR to see what they're willing to deem as eligible. So the list included a curb box wrench, a hydrant diffuser, a manhole lifter, a DA2 unit, which is a GPS unit, and the truck that Rich wants to purchase. DNR came back, they're willing to fund everything. The only kind of difference is that the GPS unit would be a 50-50 split between water and sewer, and the truck would be a 40-20-40 split, so 40 water, 20 sewer, 40 streets. So everything was deemed eligible. I believe you should have in your packet all the information for the items. There should be an email string kind of listing those costs, as well as 2 of the actual invoices for some of the larger equipment purchases. So the curb box wrench and the hydrant diffuser and manhole lifter are kind of your day-to-day usage. The wrench just to open and close the curb valves. The hydrant diffuser is when you're flushing. I know one of the things we already purchased was a hydro hitch. So it's actually a diffuser that attaches to the back of Rich's pickup truck that allows him that when he has to flush hydrants, it can attach to the truck to be able to hold it in place, and it sprays out on the road instead of just spraying straight out of the hydrant into people's yards. So it's to have a bit more control and not cause any rutting or anything when he's doing that normal yearly maintenance. The other diffuser that we're asking for on this is just a smaller, basically just an elbow, just to direct the flow a certain direction for some of those hydrants that Rich can't access with his truck. It just doesn't make sense to have it on or drive his truck through grass or anything to do it. And the manhole lifter it's basically a back saver. I've used these in the past, and it's when you're trying to lift a manhole lid, these lids can get upwards of 200 pounds. So it's nice to be able to have this lifter, basically just a magnet that's hooks on to the manhole lid, lifts it up without having to put much weight into it or much pressure on it. And when we were going through, one of their maintenance items is to go through all the manholes like they did earlier this year. You pop open 100 manholes, it's a backbreaking work, and I know from experience. The DA2 unit is a GPS unit. This is what we use to collect data for the GIS mapping system. So Rich and I went through using the existing one that you guys purchased back, I believe it was 2018 under Mike. And while it works, it's not as accurate, and we were having a lot of connectivity issues with it because it's an older model. A lot of changes have been made since then. And while that one may get you within a couple inches of it, the DA tuning will get you into a fraction of that as far as accuracy goes. And it's just more up to date, so it'll be more consistent with the current technology that's out there. And that's actually what we recommend using and what I use in our office when I go out and collect data myself. And then the truck is something you guys have been looking to kind of replace Big Blue as it's kind of on its last legs. So the DNR was willing to fund that. And for that, they're willing to fund the $83,000. So that's just the truck itself. So I know Rich was wanting to purchase like plows and different attachments for snow plowing. And we certainly can try to go back and argue funding that stuff as well, as long as there's still a loan amount in it. Saying like, oh, they're going to be plowing the well house driveway, the driveway for the lift station, but just in a timely manner, this is the response I was able to get now, so I just wanted to bring that forward to you all. So obviously the curb box wrench and the diffuser are going to be water related under the well house project. The manhole lifter will be under the sewer project, but so the goal here is just to maximize how much PF we're going to be using, or you're eligible for. Basically, the DNR is willing to pay for 40% of these items, and the rest will be covered underneath the loan. And while it's a 30-year loan, I know you guys are planning to use TIF funds for this to pay it off early too, so it's not like you're going to be paying for it for a full 30 years.
Brittany, do you have any questions?
Yeah, one of my questions would be, is there somewhere I'm missing in here where it says like what the total amount of like the loans are? And
I believe in one of the past updates I presented, I actually had a breakdown of what was remaining. Try to see if I can find that.
or would this not even be
This-
part of this at all? So
This was brought up just recently. The DA or the DA, the GPS thing was just brought up because they said last year that we were gonna have to upgrade,
Oh, okay.
and so we didn't want to
But
spend
so
the money on it.
in this email, the truck, it says the village would need to fund the remaining $34,000.
We do
And
have
that's
some.
going to the loan, or that would come out of the budget?
That would come out of the capital fund you guys have for
We
this.
have capital fund.
Okay.
put
So they're basically
in.
saying that 40% of it will come through the well house project
Gotcha.
and 20% will come through the sewer project.
So we do have
Other
money
point.
put into a capital for it. At some point when we get up, I don't know how much we have in there. Right offhand.
You do too, I gave you.
I know, but I know you did, but it's in my office right offhand.
Nice calling them out.
Blame it on me.
Yes, you do.
I didn't say because I haven't got the report. I got it, it's just not here.
So in the December update I provided, we estimated the final construction contract price for the well house to be $51,000 under the awarded contract amount. And I believe we were actually under less of that because I wasn't accounting for the allowances, which I'll get into at the board meeting. So we had around 350,000 remaining in unexpended safe drinking water loan budget. For the sewer project, we had 150,000 at the time in clean water fund loan budget. I believe you can see in Tyler's emails is that we're basically going to be maxing out, I think, the sewer project through purchasing some of these, which was understandable because we did
Yeah.
less, but we had plenty of the well house budget for it.
What are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts.
Well, let's hear them.
So, regarding the Trimble catalyst, is this the most up-to-date version of this that's out there?
Yep. Yeah, and I contacted her. So like I say, that's what I use in the office. I contacted our GIS team and just confirmed with them. And they were actually the ones that contacted this rep and got the quote for Rich.
Okay.
Because they'd rather go through them so they can make sure they get
So-
everything that's needed.
How long until it will need to be updated?
Like replaced?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm not sure on that. I mean, like I said, this is within a half an inch. It's still, I know we talked about that the platform's going to be switching over to a different one. This GPS unit will still be compatible with the new platform that's going to be used for GIS. And realistically, the main difference, like I said, is the accuracy. Like this one's more accurate. I mean, the other unit still is pretty accurate, but it's just not as accurate, and it's a lot beefier, and it's not having as many updates presented for it. I know we had to do, like when I first received that, it's called the R2 unit. It had not really been touched since 2019 after Mike was gone, and it had a ton of firmware updates I had to go through. But this one is just, in my opinion, is a lot easier to use.
When did we get the existing R2 unit?
2018, I believe.
So,
and I guess
so
the
we're
other
saying
thing to,
after 6 years, it's not good.
and that could be, that's probably understandable. The other thing with this one is the current GPS unit that you use, in order to get a accurate location, it requires WISCORS. It's a Wisconsin-based geographical system. Basically, it's saying like your phone accuracy, the GPS is within 10 feet. What the WISCORS allows you to do is get within that couple inch accuracy. I think we were getting down to like 3 inches, but it's utilizing their it's a subscription, so you guys pay for it. But what the DA2 unit uses is it uses a different catalyst, so you're not reliant on WISCORS. You would be able to cancel that subscription, and you basically just purchase amount of hours that you use it. So you can see on here we actually include a 10-hour pack. So basically 10 hours for the year, you get this many. You can purchase more as need by basis, but allows you to have a bit more control over what your actual needs for the catalyst are instead of just paying for a yearly subscription. And this catalyst allows you to get within like a half an inch is what I usually get when I use it up in Baraboo.
So I guess the question for Deneen, do you know how much we pay now for this subscription?
$550.
Okay.
A year.
So in theory, this would pay, or canceling that subscription, there would be a negligible increase of however much.
Yeah, so we included 10 hours because realistically all Rich is going to use it for is just updating the maps throughout the time. And like I said, you can always purchase more. Like if you have a project like we did this year, is actually went through with Rich and we shot everything, but I still don't think it took us more than an hour to shoot all the new stuff that we added in the project, because the setup time is the biggest thing. Is there's a lot of setup time. This unit is a lot easier to set up because you don't have to go through all the WISCORS stuff to get it logged in. I got it all set up for Rich to take it, and it was definitely a handful.
So then, on to my next question, Rich. How often do we replace trucks?
I do not know. We got the blue one is a 2001. The 4 is a 2015, and the Dodge is a 2018. What they had before that, I do not know.
So which one are we replacing?
I would like to replace the 2001,
Okay.
just in case if one of the other plow trucks break down, we have a spare plow truck. If we trade one of the current ones in, and one of those truck break down, then we have no other spare plow truck.
I understand that. I mean, obviously, if we have something from 2001, we're not really
And
buying new trucks every 8 years
Yeah,
and trading the previous one in.
yeah. I don't know when the other ones that they traded off, or yeah, I do not know what they traded off to get the 15 and the 18.
Okay. I don't remember what they might have done back then. I think we've talked about this before. Some of the existing equipment can't be used if we were to buy this. We would have to buy all new equipment to fit onto this 2024.
Yes,
Okay.
because everything changes and the bodies changes and
Is there a reason why we're going with a Ram over a different
it
brand?
was the only one that I got bids for because it was just for the budget. I needed to know a budgeted amount, and I was down at Dane, Iowa today, and they Jeff told me to get a bid from Eklund or out of Oconomowoc, I think it is. And they're like $7,000 cheaper than anything around here. Well, I could not get a bid today from them.
Sure.
I would, if this is, just say we got that bid for 133 and you guys tell me that to go get, to order, or, go buy a truck with that, I would get a Chevy, Ford, and a Dodge price on it, and then bring it back to you guys. Me, my personal self, I do not want a Ford. I cannot sit in a Ford vehicle. It's the seats. So I prefer a GMC, Chevy, or a Dodge. But I cannot make that decision for you guys. But I will get a price on all of them. And he said that the Chevy dealership up there they just picked one out. They're getting theirs delivered. Theirs was 83,000 base. And then everything they're going to add to it, that's with the hoist and something else, he said. Flatbed with a hoist.
Okay.
I guess with that, you could always approve a maximum amount to spend on the truck. Like I said, Tyler's willing to fund the 83 that's in here right now. So I guess whatever you get is different. If you get different bids and find a cheaper cost like they did in Dane, Iowa, I'm sure Tyler would have no issue funding something that's a little cheaper even.
Well, he's not funding 83.
Correct. Yes, he'd be splitting it out between the different utilities.
So,
And the other thing when we were down there talking, if we do the blue truck, the other two do have salters on them, so I could possibly get a flatbed for this one and replace the existing flatbed we got. If we can't spend that, I would rather have a box on it so I can haul stuff with it than a flatbed that I can't.
yeah, whatever seems to be more functional would make more sense.
And then in a couple years down the road, then do that because I'll have that quad seat to put everything in the back seat. And that's what the Ford has, is that little back door. They don't make those vehicles anymore. It's either a standard cab or a crew cab.
Yeah.
A cab and a half would be perfect for me, but it's,
All right. Do you have any other questions, Bridget?
I don't know how much is in capital.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So for 2025, that amount that they, from the budget to put in, would have 170,541 in streets, machinery. So that's everything's depending on. You want to put it all towards just one truck or equipment in general.
And we would only spend money from one capital fund? We wouldn't split this over streets and anything else?
That would be up to you.
I'm just asking the question if that would make more sense.
Yeah, usually we only do water. We usually don't do sewer because they have limited use for sewer. So it's just pretty much just the lift station use, and I think it's 20% utility is what auditors put back to water.
Okay.
and the rest comes from general.
So my question, is it, we go with this option and this partially takes care of these items, or we don't and we fully fund it ourselves?
Yeah, that's,
Right.
yeah, you can do that option. It's just up to you if you want to spend the money on these items with your,
Right.
what you have budgeted for. Yeah.
Were you planning on looking for a truck, or are we just putting it on here because there's extra?
I would like to get a replacement for blue because that's gonna, it's not, well, right now it doesn't hardly start. I mean, it will. It starts. And sometimes you gotta shift it into neutral to get it to start. But I like driving it because I just like driving it. It makes a lot of noise when you drive around town. Everybody knows you ride around.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, the
I know, I can hear
diffuser,
the bus coming.
the existing diffuser that they have, it's pretty much similar to this one. I think you said it just broke recently.
Yeah, our little one.
Obviously you guys have a GPS unit. Like I said, it's just the availability to have a new one now with 40%. You guys, they have an existing manhole lifter, though they're seeing signs of deterioration on it and just don't want to be out of one. The one that they have now it's a magnet one, but the one that they're presenting, I believe, has the wheels on it. So instead of having to still use your body strength to lift it up, you can just use a lever. It's basically pretty much wheels with a lever on it. A little easier to lift up.
And the curb box wrench, the one that I have on the truck, on the bottom of it, it looks sort of like this. So when you stick it down, it goes over the thing and turns. The one side is broke off. So it's like just, and the other side is sort of cracked. So, and there's not a lot of welding you can do on it because it just barely fits through the hole as it is. And so there's not like a whole bunch of welding you can do to it to bulk it up because you're not going to get it in through the top of the curb box.
How long has it been broke?
I noticed it when I was up there trying to do when the water broke on Highway 1 up on the new apartments. I couldn't figure out why it was slipping all the time. Well, I pulled it out, and the one side that you have to turn it to open it or to close it is the side that is broke on.
So what do you think, Brittany?
I think that everything seems very reasonable, aside from the truck is the one thing that I'm a little hung up on. Only because I want to make sure it's necessary right now. It sounds like it is. But that's obviously a big ticket item. So I think that needs consideration.
Yeah, not to interrupt you, but
No.
if we're looking at it, the first four on our list, the curb box wrench, the hydrant diffuser, the manhole lifter, the Trimble, I mean, technology has changed a lot in 6 years. This might get us 6 more years. So if we're putting money into a capital fund, we can prepare for all of these things as we move forward. The truck, I agree with you, it's a big expense, but more than half of it, just the base cost would be covered under the Clean Water Fund and the SW or SDW. Yeah. So, we would be looking at really paying just for the base estimate, that $34,790 92 cents. If that makes our public works team more efficient, not trying to whatever, if it makes it easier for them to do their job and we can trade in some of our old equipment, I think that makes sense. My concern is I don't want to add more to a loan so we're kicking it down the road, costing future residents money on something, I mean, you know, even though the amount of 48,000 over 30 years, if that's how it works out, isn't going to be that much per person per year, it's still making them pay for something that isn't going to be around in 30 years.
It's tentatively to get paid off in 33 with the TIF loan.
Okay.
The goal is to pay this.
2033?
Yes.
Okay.
So the goal is to ask for payment of early, so it'd just be a 10-year loan versus a 30-year loan. So tentatively scheduled to be paid off in 2033.
Well, then we may still have the truck by that point, based on the current,
You don't have it.
you know, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the fact that we have, you know,
And that's always the big thing when there's like a 30-year loan involved, it's like, what does it put in the last 30 years? This is always the biggest discussion item. But like I said, in this case, it's going to be a 10-year loan, and we're still within the original budgets for both projects. So everything was already in order that you were able to pay in that 10-year process. So
yeah.
yeah, it definitely is a difficult decision. I will say that.
Any other thoughts? I see gears turning over there, so.
No, I guess, what are we voting on? You know what I mean? Because he still has to get quotes and stuff too.
So I mean, we could in theory do this a couple different ways. We could make a motion to approve or to recommend
To the board.
to the board the first four, and then make a recommendation for the truck up to 83 with, you know, bids or estimates coming in for the specific type of truck. I'm guessing that.
Well, because I mean,
That's the way it would make the
if we're
most
gonna
sense
get
to go about it.
estimates, then
Yeah.
Because
I think so.
if he finds a GMC or a Chevy that comes in cheaper, fantastic.
Right.
I don't have a personal preference over one brand or another, but knowing that Rich would have difficulties driving the Ford, I don't think it makes a lot of sense for our public works supervisor or superintendent to get a Ford.
Yeah.
I want Rich to be around for a few more years and not quit because you can't drive a truck. So,
Great.
well, you got to train the next
Yeah.
person, Rich.
Um,
So,
And when I was getting the quotes last year for those guys, and that's one of the reasons I only got one, is like I stopped up at Chevy, and they just said, well, by next year, if you order this in the spring, it's going to be a different price. So that's why I didn't go around and get 5 prices
yeah.
for vehicles for my budget, because I figured, well, one would be close. But now if we do this and we tell them that, well, in the next 3 months I'm going to be ordering a truck, who can give me the best price? They're going to be more giving you exact prices that are for right now prices.
And I can check to see when the timeline is that we have to close the loan by. I think we're still safe. I think the board meeting tonight, I'll be presenting a final change order and final pay up for the well house project. So pretty much after this point, since last month, I have not been charging the well house project number at all. So there should be no more realistically any invoices as far as my time. I don't think any of my other coworkers are going to be charging any time. So I guess leaving the loan open to make the final decisions on this. We shouldn't see any additional payment to MSA for this stuff. I believe we were even pretty much capped out at what we have our amendments anyway. So, and I don't mind doing the coordination work between the DNR and Rich for these items. It doesn't take much time for me, and I'd rather do that just to make sure the village gets the best, because I'm also a taxpayer, so I want to see the best deal anyway.
Yeah, I like that idea. So, I make a motion, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
For the first 4 items, to submit to the board. And then do I have to make a separate one for the last one?
Well,
Or can I just,
You can put it on anyway.
okay. And then for quotes on up to $83,030 on a truck.
So you're making a motion to recommend to the board the purchase of a 8-foot curb box wrench, 2.5-inch hydrant diffuser, a 300-pound manhole lifter that's magnetic, Trimble catalyst DA2 receiver, and to approve up to $83,000 for a new truck. Is that
Yes, thank you.
okay?
I like how you did that.
Are there any seconds? I will second. All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Opposed? Nay. Not nay. No nays. No nays. I can't vote twice.
Both ways.
Can't vote twice. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay. So next agenda item is the WRWA Conference Green Bay approval.
That's a conference that our Wisconsin Rural Water Association puts on every year. Last year it was in La Crosse I went. And this year it's in Green Bay. There's a couple of seminars in there that I highlighted that I think that I would get some benefit from. You get to go see speakers, and then you get to see a lot of vendors in the trade show. It's one of the few things that they put on for municipalities to get to have all the vendors come in at one big spot. Because I think there's the one up in La Crosse, there was like over 100 vendors there. I didn't realize there was that many sewer companies and that many water tower cleaning companies. I mean, they come in from 4 states around just to come in because any business they can pick up is, it was, I got a lot out of it last year for me in my first year.
All right. Do you have any questions, Brittany?
I don't think so.
Rich,
Yes,
why didn't you use the government rate for the hotel?
I called.
Yeah,
It's a conference, so they do not use government rates.
that's BS.
That is what I called and I asked them because Deneen gave me the tax exempt number and I called them and I asked them that and they said that since it's a conference up there, and then I said it's for the government.
Yeah, we don't have anything to do with that.
And they said, well, we're not offering that at this up here. And I'm like, so I said I will talk to them when I get up there about it.
Okay.
You'll get the tax deduction. with that.
Yeah, because then my second part was going to be
Yeah.
your reservation also shows taxes. And
But
it appears
through the reservation, I had to go through my credit card because it wasn't approved for you guys to pay it. So that is on my credit card. The hotel is right now. But it was, because I didn't want to put it on the village credit card. If you guys said no, then it's on your village credit card. Then it's a whole other bunch of paperwork.
So my next question would be, why did you make the reservation through your personal email address?
Because personally, man, because I had to create a account for those guys.
Yeah, you could have used your village email address. You're traveling on village business.
Yeah, but I'll have my personal phone, and they wanted to do it for my personal number
Okay.
because that's how they do it to your key now. You put it in your phone, I guess.
Okay.
And so I will not take the work phone up there because I'll have to have Troy have that.
Okay. I mean, it makes
So-
sense, yeah.
So, and my wife was here with me,
I'm just asking.
but so we just did it. I don't. That's just the way I did it. I don't know why.
I'm just
Makes
asking
sense.
for clarification purposes.
Yeah.
You have heard me hammer you before about taxes. I don't think you did it purposely.
No.
But
I did,
also
to
wanna
be
make
honest
sure-
with you, when I called them up there, I started at the closest one in. There is not a hotel even close to the rent center. They've been sold out for forever for this. And this was the closest one. And there's cheaper ones. So I called the wife over to see if she was going up that day. And she didn't know. Well, then we booked it before they were sold out. Because they only had, I think, 3 rooms left in this hotel for that weekend. So then when we started it, they wanted, so then she sat down and started typing everything.
because it's spring break.
So then, this brings me to my next question. Is that why you got a king studio suite with a view? Because that's all that was left?
No, there was one with 2 queens,
Okay.
but and they're the same price.
Comfort, Matthew. Come on.
You
You
can't
know what?
ride it
I would
up
love
the
comfort
water.
too, but when I travel, I have to take whatever is the cheapest and whatever the
Well,
government rate.
it was.
Same price.
I think they're the same price, $135, and that was the cheapest. I think it was, or 141, or 138. Is it 138?
It was one.
Yeah. No, the other one was 135 with 2 queens.
That's $3, Rich.
I know, but it's on my credit card. If you guys don't want to pay it, it's not a big deal.
Part of the reason I bring up the costs is because the government rate is depending $94 or $96 a day.
I think
110
it's 100.
According to their webpage, it's 94 or 96.
for that hotel. Because
Yeah.
I looked it up and it said 110.
I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, do you want to call and talk to that guy and ask him?
I would tear into him.
Well, go
But
ahead.
I shouldn't do that in my official capacity. I'm maybe not as tactful as other people when it comes to things.
Oh, yeah. When I called him and I asked him about it, the government rate, because I have to take up my business card
Yeah.
to make sure with my ID. They got to see my picture ID with my business card, because that's what they did last year to make sure everything checks out.
Yeah.
And last year, and he said that he would take the tax off when I brought the tax exempt form up.
We've had situations when we book for work, Matthew, that hotels will be booked out and they won't offer any rooms at government rates. They just won't do it.
Because they don't like the IRS.
But just in general, though, they just refuse to do any rooms at the discounted
I
rate.
just checked and all the
Yeah,
rooms
well.
were sold out.
No way.
I just wanted to check.
So we have seen it before. I know
It's
it's
all
stupid, but we've seen it.
Oh, wait, let me see.
There's
Yeah.
one
Did you get the right one?
I mean, I've stayed
Yeah,
at Hilton's
yeah.
before and got government rate. So it's probably dependent upon the hotel, but I don't know. Do you have any other questions or comments, Brittany?
I just pulled up the same dates at this hotel, and
They're sold out.
yeah, everything's sold out. So
And that's like 2.5 blocks away. Everything else is starting to get further and further away. Unless if I want to go to that one hotel, I think is like $245 a night or whatever. That ain't me.
yeah, I
So
mean,
yes, right. Move on.
yeah.
It's in the budget. So.
Do you have anything to add?
I don't think so.
Do you have something to comment on, Paul?
I do.
Please make it quick.
Okay, I will. My wife deals with this stuff every day. As far as reimbursement, I'll get reimbursed, but the way the UW does it is the reimbursement will be according to the rates that UW approves. They have people that will do the same thing, and they come and submit an expense report, and they don't get paid their full expense report because it wasn't done according to protocol.
We don't have a policy that says that though currently. So
I mean, I think if this was something that was a very common situation, then yeah, I would pick it apart. But how often do you go out of town to something like this and need a room or reimbursement for anything?
once a year.
Once a year. And that's usually this. The last one was this. The first year I was here, I went up to my training for a week up in Plover. Last year it was lacrosse, and this year hopefully this one will be in Green Bay. And then I believe next year will be in Green Bay, and the following year will be in Green Bay. I think they had this 3-year contract up in Green Bay.
All right. Any thoughts? No? Okay.
I mean, my only thought would be, it would be nice to ask for the government rate once you get there. If that's something that can be done.
So, you've already paid for the registration, Rich?
The registration, no.
Okay,
But the hotel, yes.
okay. They made you pay for that in advance? For advance? Or they just took your credit card?
They just took my credit. They're holding the room. I got to the 24th too.
That's fine. I just wanted to clarify so that if we make a motion on this, we know how much we have to approve up to.
And then the registration is the 270.
Yes. And the yellow highlights are the ones that I was hoping to, because they were like open, so you can get in and get out if you,
Oh,
you know, like
to-
because the two
like
of
to
these
attend.
two are in the same floor, same time. And I talked to Brian last year. He said sometimes you get that presenter, and they're always around. You can go to their booth and go and ask them the same thing. They'll give you their presentation in 15 minutes instead of a half hour.
Gotcha.
So 546.36,
Awesome.
ask for government rate.
I make a motion to approve 546
46.
36 for Rich stay in Green Bay for the conference with
Ask for government rate.
asking for government rates.
So a motion by Brittany to approve up to, you said 546?
Yes.
270 for the registration, 276.36 for the hotel.
Okay. Motion by Brittany to approve up to 546.36 for registration and hotel fees. I will second that motion. All those in favor? All right. Opposed? Motion passes.
All right.
All right. Agenda item number 6, park. There's nothing. Number 7, there is no public works or streets. So agenda item number 8, adjournment.
I make motion to adjourn.
I will second your motion, Brittany. We have a motion to adjourn by Brittany, seconded by me. All those in favor?
Aye.